So, when you think about managing type 2 diabetes, what comes to mind? Probably things like diet, exercise, medication, right? But what if I told you that's only half the story? We're about to look at the full picture, a battle that's fought not just in the body, but in the mind, too. To get a sense of just how big this is, take a look at this number. Back in 2019, there were 463 million adults around the world living with diabetes. That's huge. It works out to about 1 in every 11 adults. This isn't just a personal health issue, it's a massive global challenge. So, what are we really talking about here? Well, the official definition calls it a metabolic disorder, but in simple terms, it just means it's a long-term condition where your blood sugar is consistently too high, all because your body has a problem using insulin the way it should. It's a physical, biological problem, or so it seems. But here's where we need to pause and ask a really important question. Is winning this thing really just about getting a number on a glucose meter under control? Is it all about the physical stuff? Or could there be another front to this battle that we don't talk about nearly enough? All right, so let's start with that first front, the one we're all familiar with, the clinical diagnosis. This is the world of hard data, where your health gets measured in very, very specific numbers. So, your doctor has this really clear checklist, right? They can use any one of these results to confirm a diagnosis. It could be your fasting glucose, a glucose tolerance test, or your HbA1c. That's the one that gives you a 3-month average of your blood sugar. Even a random test can do it if you're showing symptoms. It's all very objective, very scientific. It's all about the numbers. And for ages, really, the main goal has just been to wrestle these numbers down, get them into a healthy range. But what happens when we're so intensely focused on just the numbers? Does that single-minded focus come with a hidden cost? And that right there brings us to the second front, the hidden one, the battle that's fought entirely in your mind. This is about the day-to-day stress, the constant worry, and the sheer emotional weight of living with a lifelong condition. Now check this out, because this data from a study in Vietnam is really fascinating. At first glance, you might think, oh, okay, over 75% of people have little to no stress. That's pretty good. But hold on, look closer. When you add them up, that means nearly a quarter of patients are dealing with moderate to severe stress that comes directly from their diabetes. That's a huge, often totally invisible burden. So what's behind all that stress? What are people actually worrying about? Well, the study looked into it, and it's not just about forgetting to take a pill. We're talking about deep, heavy fears, a pessimistic view of the future, a constant nagging anxiety, the fear that the disease is just going to get worse. This isn't just some side effect. For a lot of people, this is the main event. So we've got two fronts, right? The physical body and the mind. But here's the absolute key. They are not separate battlefields. Not at all. In fact, they feed off each other in this dangerous, vicious cycle. And you can see that cycle play out perfectly right here. It all starts with that mental weight, the stress and anxiety of just having the condition. That feeling can make it really tough to stick to your treatment plan. Maybe you skip your meds, or you reach for comfort food. And then what happens? Naturally, your blood sugar gets unstable. And when you see those disappointing numbers, well, the stress and the feeling of helplessness just get worse, and boom, the cycle starts all over again. But, and this is so important, there is good news here. Once you understand this cycle, you hold the key to breaking it. Winning isn't about fighting two separate wars. It's about finding one single strategy that hits both fronts at the exact same time. And you know what? The research points us directly to the answer. The single most powerful weapon you have is treatment adherence, sticking to the plan. It's not just about managing your blood sugar. It's about taking control back. And that feeling of control is what directly fights the stress. Every pill you take, every healthy meal you eat, that's not just a physical act. It's an act of mental self-care. And I mean, just look at the numbers here. They're absolutely incredible. If you stick to your medication plan, you can cut your risk of stress by a whopping 78%. Following through with physical activity, that's a 66% reduction. And sticking to your diet, a 61% reduction. This shows that the simple, consistent act of taking care of yourself is one of the most powerful things you can do for your mind. Okay, so where do we even begin with all this? The single most powerful, most immediate place to start is right on your dinner plate. Let's talk about how winning the food battle can lay the groundwork for a total victory. You know, the rules here are actually pretty straightforward. You want to lean into whole, natural foods. Think green veggies, lean proteins like fish, healthy fats like olive oil.
And at the same time, you want to pull back on the heavily processed stuff. Canned foods, fast food, processed meats, fried things. The idea is simple. Keep it fresh and keep it clean.
And hey, it's not just what you cook, but how you cook it. Make boiling and steaming your best friends. Try to limit frying as much as possible and go easy on the salt. Oh, and here's a super simple but powerful trick. Eat your vegetables first at mealtime. The fiber helps make you feel full and can actually slow down how fast your body absorbs sugar from everything else you eat. And please, don't think for a second this means your food has to be boring or bland. Not at all. Look at this simple menu. You can still enjoy amazing traditional meals like chicken pho. The whole key is just balance, watching your portions and making sure you're getting plenty of fruits and veggies. This is all about smart choices, not sacrifice. So let's bring it all together. Managing diabetes is so much more than a numbers game. It is a two-front battle for your body and your mind. But the secret weapon is realizing that every single healthy choice you make, every meal, every walk, every medication taken on time, is a victory on both of those fronts at once. So the only real question left is, are you ready to win?